2019 was a dream season for JGR, after the tragic passing of J.D. Gibbs in the off-season, January 11th, but in poetic fashion the driver J.D. Gibbs scouted, recruited, and vouched for, in J.D.'s favorite number 11, Denny Hamlin would win the Daytona 500 in a JGR-led 1-2-3 finish in the Great American Race.
Two Connecticut Yankees chasing Hamlin and Busch.
Wow, what a move by Logano. He got under Kyle Busch.
And Priest is coming to help.
All right, and that's what he's going to need. He's got to back up to Priest. He's not going to be able to do it on his own. He's got to get that push from Priest. He's going to have to get on the brakes here, but he's got Kyle Busch in the outside lane.
Logano and Priest grew up together at the quarter midget tracks in Connecticut. And Logano looks low. Top lane gets filled. It's Kyle. Kyle Busch in the top lane. Logano on the bottom. McDowell, the second yellow car. Where will he go?
So interesting that McDowell decided to go with Kyle Busch, but here comes Erik Jones on the inside. Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin off turn number 4. No, side-by-side battle to the finish. This time, Denny Hamlin wins his second Daytona 500 and wins it for Coach Gibbs in Toyota.
In the 11 car.
Wow.
What a day for J.D. Gibbs, for Joe Gibbs, for that whole team. Mike, that's storybook stuff right there.
That was.
The team would go on to dominate the season. An astonishing 19 wins for the team. Kyle Busch would win the regular season championship before the team claimed 3 of the 4 of the championship 4 slots and indeed win the championship with Kyle Busch to cap off an incredible season.
Electric fuel pump, they know exactly how much fuel's in that box and how far they can run.
The white flag's waved. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Truex has it down to 1.4. And here comes the Candyman. 52nd career Cup victory for Kyle Busch, Toyota, and Joe Gibbs Racing.
Get out the broom, boys. And you got a 2.5-second lead. Use it.
This might be the slowest lap that Kyle Busch runs all day.
It would be for me, I know that.
Quarter. Still in their very bottom.
Between 3 and 4 and headed for home. Kyle Busch in his Joe Gibbs Toyota is going to win his 53rd race in the Cup Series and hit his magic number 200.
2019 also saw a monumental moment for Kyle Busch, as he won his 200th career NASCAR Series race between the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series, with most of these being for Toyota and Joe Gibbs. This was as much a Joe Gibbs and Toyota achievement as it was for Kyle Busch.
White flag, 1 to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Logano a distant third. Blaney and Hamlin fighting for 4th, side by side. Menard, Boyer, Suarez. Kurt Busch. 54th career win for Kyle Busch. That's the gap to Keselowski.
Well, I mean, to me, these guys have put together a pretty flawless day. I mean, they lost some track position, but otherwise they have been flawless throughout this day.
I just think a lot of the experience that Kyle has in the trucks and in the Xfinity cars, and with this engine package where you got to stay in the throttle, that's the way those other vehicles are. I think it really pays off for him.
Last lap by, he was still the fastest car on the racetrack by 0.5 of a second over Brad Keselowski. Kyle Busch for Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing wins the Pocono 400, his 55th career win.
The team had success across the board, as each driver won and any driver could win each week, including 3 consecutive weeks where Denny Hamlin would win at Texas, followed by Kyle Busch winning at Bristol, and Martin Truex Jr. winning at Richmond.
A double penalty day and a checkered flag for Denny Hamlin.
Final time off the end of the front straightaway. Does everybody have enough fuel? Further back, almost down, onto the apron is Kyle Larson. Larson trying to regroup as Denny Hamlin brings him off turn 1 for the final time this afternoon here in Pocono.
Headed toward the tunnel turn for the final time. Denny Hamlin, all 8 cylinders still heading here. Still got the fuel to keep this car going. His teammate, Erik Jones, also close on fuel right in his tracks as they exit the tunnel turn. Everybody's still up to speed.
The long racetrack, though, still time to run out of fuel. Will these guys have enough
enough fuel to get to the end. Denny Hamlin has this race in hand as long as he has enough fuel.
Right behind him, Erik Jones looking for his first ever win in the Cup Series, but Denny Hamlin is going to be the spoiler today, his 34th career win. Come up on 1 lap to go. And very tight for Denny Hamlin. The checkered flag will fly. Hamlin wins at Bristol. Trying to hold off the 9 of Chase Elliott. Here comes Kyle Busch as well. Down the backstretch for the final time.
Oh,
a good run by the 18. Kyle Busch with momentum. Here comes Chase Elliott. Denny Hamlin up the racetrack.
Look at the points.
Out of turn 4. Denny Hamlin will win at Kansas. Out of turn 4. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank.
All right, he's got to get around here.
Flag, one more time, brother, all clear.
And Kyle Busch is in big trouble in the wall all the way down the front straightaway. That's true. There could be some debris. Look at the 20. Running to very low line, staying very low. Trying not to get any type of debris on the racetrack.
Larson 3.5 seconds back, running second. Erik Jones in his 100th start in the Monster Energy Cup Series is going to win the Southern 500. Erik Jones wins in 2019.
Yes, sir. I cannot tell you how proud I am.
At ISM Raceway for Denny Hamlin to keep his championship dreams alive. The 18 trying to use those 4 fresh tires. But it's still 3 car lengths separating Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Through 3 and 4 the final time. Denny Hamlin has done it. He's won his way into the championship 4.
I mean, he's pushing hard as he can. He's out of grip. I think he's pretty well had it.
And I think this is why Martin Truex Jr. has been so successful today. His car rotates in the middle of the carousel and launches and drives off of this corner so well that Kyle Busch can't get close enough to him to even outbrake him in turn 7.
Yeah, again, I just go back to what Cole Pern said. We got to hope Kyle Busch is using up his stuff because we know how aggressive he is, and I believe that's what happened.
The only last lap pass at Sonoma for the win so far. 1991 when Larry Mack's driver Davey Allison passed Ricky Rudd for the win. Then of course there was Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin, but that was a race of a different sort.
And I was going to say all those were questionable of whether they were actually passes.
Look at Martin. He looks back, said, I think I got this. And guess what?
There it is.
I think he's got it
wow,
too.
6 car lengths in the middle of turn 11, and it might as well be 6 miles. Around the final corner to the checkered flag. Martin Truex Jr.
He's on his bumper. He's there.
The white flag waves. 1 lap to go from Credit One Bank.
Man, what do you do if you're Truex? You want to hook that yellow line, but the 22's getting a big run off the top.
It's all going to come.
He's going to get there.
It's going to come down.
Don't give him the outside.
It's going to come down to it right here.
Oh, the Truex
Martin
moves
Truex
up.
makes that car wide. Short track win number 1 for Martin Truex and Joe Gibbs Toyota. Credit One Bank for Martin Truex of Mayetta, New Jersey.
Way high. Still outside. Still outside. Got plenty of room behind him to bring it back here, bud. Plenty of room behind him. Just bring it back to the checkered flag for me, brother.
9-second lead over Alex Bowman, who's going to have a career day. Martin on Monday. Martin Truex wins.
Again, a miraculous way they did.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think the 19 car, after he hit the wall in the beginning of the race, would win it, but he did all around and go somebody on the back. I don't know who that was.
11. Boy, heavy.
Denny Hamlin. Heavy crash.
Big crash.
Most everybody gets through there. No caution. Checkered flag in the air. Martin Truex wins the Coca-Cola 600. The gap down to a car length. William Byron, does he have anything?
down the backstretch for the final time. Martin Truex Jr. has dominated at Martinsville. He will have a championship 4 spot.
He has a championship. He's got a short track win. Did he bring his broom? Because he's about to sweep at Richmond. Back-to-back wins for Martin Truex Jr.
Left Richmond for the year and back-to-back victories for this 19th.
The team's success was primarily concentrated to their 3 staple drivers. Kyle Busch as the only driver to win a championship at JGR since Tony Stewart in 2005, would win 5 races and win the championship for a second time. Longtime driver Denny Hamlin would have a resurgence and win 6 races and contend for the championship till the team would make a mistake, leaving too large a piece of tape on the grill and require an additional pit stop in the final run. And newcomer Martin Truex Jr., after closure of Furniture Row Racing, would win 7 races and compete to win the championship, leading most of the early race before the team made a mistake and put them behind.
Win his second Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series championship. Car there. And now he'll celebrate here at Homestead Miami Speedway.
While the team only scored 4 poles, and all in the last 13 races of the season, the Gibbs team approach was building and setting up the cars to race and get through traffic extremely well in the new high-drag aero package of 2019. Their 27 stage wins and 4,047 laps led, and with their drivers leading the most laps in 16 of the 36 races, demonstrated the dominance the Gibbs cars had on the field. 2019 was a season full of success for JGR, winning 19 races, winning the championship, and winning the Daytona 500. Their 4th team and young star Eric Jones won a race and made the playoffs, while Denny Hamlin returned to championship form and Busch and Truex continued their championship-level success. The team built winning cars for winning drivers, and all 4 drivers and teams led the team to one of the most dominant seasons for an organization in NASCAR history.